I can see we've got a question here, so I shall go ahead and answer. Do you have to increase your dose every month? Could I do 2 doses on the same dosage if I feel it's working? It's a great question, and thank you for this. This is somebody, I'm assuming you're on weight loss injections, and the dosing regime with them, for anybody who doesn't know, is you take each pen gives you 4 doses, and that dose is obviously the same strength. And you take those 4 doses, and then at the end of that pen, or the end of that month, you then decide if you are going to increase your dose or stay on the same dose. You can absolutely stay on the same dose. There is no reason that there is a rush to increase in dose. The reason that we take the medication, the reason that you take weight loss injections is to help support your dietary efforts. So it's to help you feel in control of what you're eating and overall achieve your weight loss goal. So if the dose you are taking is helping you feel in control of what you're eating, your weight is moving in the right direction, you're losing weight, you're not experiencing any side effects that are niggling or making you feel unwell, then there is absolutely no reason that you have to go up in dose. You can stay on the same dose, do another pen for another month, i.e. another 4 doses, 1 each week, and then have a look at it at that stage. We treat a variety of patients at the Slimming Clinic. Some people stay on the same dose for quite a while because it really suits them and they stay there and they get to that weight loss goal. And there are some patients that titrate up really quickly because their bodies move faster in terms of what they need in terms of dose. Neither way is right or wrong. Although obviously we see in the literature that you should increase each month, again, it's patient specific, and you can absolutely slow down in terms of the race to the top. However, the flip isn't true. So again, you can't go up any sooner. So you need to do each dose for at least 4 weeks before you increase. Okay, so you can't rush that part. That's the more important side, because the way that, again, we know these medications work, the effect they have on the gut, which is slowing down how everything's moving in the gut, which again is part of how you get the appetite reducing effect, means that if you go too soon, your gut might not tolerate the medication so well, and then you could end up with side effects that are uncomfortable or might even make you stop the medication. So don't rush in that way. Definitely do 4 doses and 4 weeks of each dose before you move up, but no rush to move up in dose. And everybody is absolutely different and unique in what they need. But as we touched on in previous slides and here, the medication is just a tool. You do the work. You're the one that decides what you eat and how you eat and when you eat. The medication is helping you stay in control of that and make those decisions. So the results are all yours. So as long as the medication is supporting what you're choosing to do, then absolutely, you're safe. And I think one of the things this makes me think of as well that we get asked is if, should I move up in dose? Now, again, if you're feeling in control of your appetite and you want to stay on the same dose, then please do so. If you feel actually, no, I'm not in control and I'd like to go up to the next dose, but you're experiencing a side effect, maybe you're feeling extremely nauseous, maybe it's made you sick, potentially it's upset your bowels, you might be feeling very constipated or have very loose stools. If there's a side effect that's really not settling and is causing you disruption, then sometimes it's actually better to stay on the same dose for a little bit longer before you move up, even if you think you could have a bit more control in your appetite, because again, it gives your gut that little bit longer to get used to the medication before you move up, which overall is going to help your weight loss efforts, because you're going to get there eventually, as opposed to having a side effect that you make worse by rushing going up in dose and then thinking you can't tolerate the medication. All the clinical trials talk about the weight loss achieved by patients who've reached the top dose for that set period of time. But what we know from treating patients at the Slimming Clinic, we know from the population taking this medication, is that weight loss starts right from the get-go, right from that first pen. You read that, people start to feel they get more optimal results or optimal effect from the drug sort of 8, 9, 10 weeks down the line. And that can absolutely be true. Again, it's so person dependent, but as soon as you get started with the medication, you will start to lose weight and you'll begin a very positive, hopefully, weight loss journey. And we are fortunate now to have 2 drugs. We've got Wegovy and semaglutide, and we've got Mounjaro or tirzepatide. So they are 2 types of weight loss injections that differ slightly in terms of the gut hormones that they mimic. So again, if one's not working for you, you can always switch to the other one. and try that, because you may find that one suits you and your body better. So you've got a few different options there. I think on that, one of the last things that I will also mention is, and we've had this question asked before, is people worry that once they've started treatment and their weight's coming down and their BMI is coming down, that they won't be able to get any more medication if their BMI falls below 30. So those BMI cutoffs that we use to decide upon medication are the starting BMI. So your BMI needs to be either above 30 or between 27 and 30. And there is a reason why in that bracket that your weight might be detrimental to your health. Now, that might be your waist circumference is raised, which tells us you're carrying more weight around the middle, which we know is dangerous to health. It might be that you've started to develop high blood pressure, or your cholesterol is raised, or you might have been told that your blood sugar control is starting to be deranged towards diabetes. So there's lots of reasons why between a BMI of 27 and 30, there can be a medical reason why you're suitable. And there are some races and ethnicities as well where we know that increasing weight is more detrimental to health. So you need to have those BMIs and reasons to get started. But as you move through, we're obviously wanting to get your BMI down. We want to get you back in the healthy range. So absolutely, once you're on your weight loss journey, you don't get denied further medication when your BMI falls below there. So it's really important that, you're being honest with your doctor and your team and letting us know how your weight loss is progressing, because again, that has an influence on what we prescribe. But please don't worry that you have to hit those BMIs to have continued treatment. At the Slimming Clinic, we work to get your BMI back in that healthy range. So, for us, we're aiming for a BMI that's somewhere between sort of, 23 to 25, which is nice and in that healthy weight range, not in the underweight area, but in the healthy weight range. So I think a good message to reinforce there.